Good evening, I'm Dr Elena Carruba, an academic, a commuter into London, a mother, and someone who takes the long view on things most people pass by on a platform. There is an advert on my train line that will not leave me alone, a small absurd thing, a red bunny. It hops across the screen, performs a half-skimpy, half-sincere public service routine, and offers us advice. One of its slogans is deadpan. Seats are for bums, not for feet. It is ridiculous, it is charming, it is mildly pornographic. Anyone who's ever seen an advertising bunny knows the cultural wink, Playboy's historical rabbit silhouette, the flirt of costume and commerce. And because it's ridiculous, it lodges. A joke transmutes into a seed. That seed, not seat, has taken root in my thinking and keeps sprouting in odd places. My daughter's bedroom, the school playground, the mirror and the comment threads that hang off the news feed. Tonight I want to follow that seed where it grows. I want to take one silly advert and, with all the seriousness I have, use it to talk about bodies, belonging, culture, and what it means to choose the right seat of confidence in a world that referees our silhouettes. This will be part memoir, part cultural anthropology, part academic treatise, and yes, I will let the bunny make me laugh as we go. Let's begin. 1. The Bunny and the Mirror, How a Joke Becomes a Standard. Have you ever noticed how trivial things become scaffolding for deep personal truths? The bunny is a joke with a social afterlife. When my daughter and her friends fuss in front of a mirror about the shape of their trousers, "You're too flat. You need padding here." "Oh no, not that silhouette." I see the red rabbit hopping behind their words. The bunny is shorthand for the larger grammar informing them, "You will be accepted if you approximate this image." We need to admit something plainly. Body standards are not natural facts. They are cultural products. They are manufactured goods sold back to us in the currency of belonging. Teenagers learn quickly that fitting in is survival. Fitting into a silhouette buys group membership. Deviating risks ridicule. For adolescents, the stakes are social oxygen. Where belonging is withheld, everything else becomes harder to breathe. But this is not only teenage theatre. Adult life is structured by the same invisible committee. The way we present ourselves, our posture, our clothes, our measured smiles, becomes shorthand for whether we are trusted, hired, promoted, loved. That tiny red bunny is not a minor irritant. It is a condensation of a cultural economy that prizes particular bodies and then rewards people for approximating them. 2. A brief anthropological detour. The body as cultural text. Anthropologists teach us to read bodies as texts. Margaret Mead once insisted that sex and temperament are cultural constructs. What is considered masculine or feminine varies across societies and eras. The technologies of the body, corsets, foot binding, surgery, padding, filters, are tools by which cultures write meaning onto flesh. Susan Bordeaux, in her brilliant cultural critique, argued that modern Western bodies have been disciplined into thinness through narrative, image, and technique. Bodies become projects to be managed. Naomi Wolf, in her famous diagnosis, called the contemporary regime the beauty myth, a shifting set of demands that keep women busy, chasing an illusion under the guise of liberation. Simone de Beauvoir told us that one is not born a woman, but becomes one, and that becoming can be enforced through the minutiae of dress, stance, and social expectation. If we read our era, the tools are now digital. Algorithms are the new dressmakers. Platforms do not merely reflect ideas of beauty, they amplify them, turning private insecurities into public norms. The red bunny is a laughing example of something lethal when scaled. The lightness of the bunny's humour distracts from the weight of the standard it normalizes. 3. Literature as long-form anthropology, 2 masterpieces. If you want to see these cultural forces rendered in the language of the soul, literature is our archive. 2 books in particular map how ideals of beauty and bodily regulation create psychic economies: Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye and Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Both novels are masterpieces in different ways, one intimate and devastating, the other allegorical and fiercely political, and each shows how bodies become instruments of belonging and control. In The Bluest Eye, Morrison exposes how racialized beauty standards, the internalization of whiteness as the desirable ideal, destroy the inner lives of girls who cannot fit the prescribed image. Pecola Breedlove's longing for blue eyes is not a whimsical wish. It is a fatal desire for social acceptance and visibility in a world that equates value with a narrow aesthetic. Morrison shows how social landscapes colonize the child's mirror. The red bunny, if it were seen through Morrison's eyes, becomes another merchant of impossible eyes. Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale moves from psychodrama to system. Female bodies are legislated, their reproductive capacities repurposed into state policy. The novel is a lucid parable. When institutions take ownership of bodies, liberal freedoms dissolve. The Handmaid's uniformity is a literalization of standardization. It is communal dressing as social control. Atwood teaches us that policing the body is never only about bodies. It is about power, distribution, and who is allowed to belong. These novels do not merely dramatize oppression, they reveal the connective tissue between the private and the systemic. When my teenage daughter worries about padded trousers, she is rehearsing a scene learned from culture's long-running script. To be counted, you must be coded as desirable. For the gendered machinery, feminist and anthropological evidence. Look at history. Western ideals moved from the corseted hourglass, a monument to male-defined propriety and female containment, to the flapper's boyish line, a social revolt, to the post-war curvy icon, Marilyn, and on to the heroin chic thinness of the 1990s. And now to the sculpted, Instagrammable contours of the Kardashian silhouette. The arc is not linear progress. It is a series of cultural bargains. Each silhouette answers a need, economic, political, emotional, and the body becomes the ledger. Anthropologists and cultural critics have documented that body modification, whether foot binding, tattooing, corseting, cosmetic surgery, or social media curation, functions as a ritual participation in the social order. Susan Bordeaux's analysis is crucial here. She frames our body practices as a mode of discipline that both expresses and reproduces gender hierarchies. The modern twist is algorithmic. Platforms reward certain bodies with visibility and engagement. They hide others in the feed's structural biases. We cannot avoid the reality. Algorithms are trained on data that inherit social bias. Face recognition technologies, grooming filters, and verification tools have higher error rates for darker skin tones and non-Western facial geometries. The tech is not neutral. It borrows the prejudices of its creators and datasets and then multiplies them. The social cost of these errors is not merely inconvenience, it is exclusion. When the system fails to recognize a face as professional or flags it as non-compliant for verification, the result is a practical, daily kind of non-belonging. 5. The psychology of comparison. Why a filter feels like a foe. Psychologically, repeated comparison changes the brain's reward circuits. Social media is not a neutral mirror, it is a feedback engine. Likes, comments, and curated feeds create a reinforcement loop. You post what wins your tribe's approval, you edit to fit the tribe's aesthetic, the tribe applauds. You repeat, this becomes for many a way of life. When girls and boys measure themselves against a manufactured median, they lose a faculty that is essential to social intelligence, reading real faces. Human empathy is partly built on a delicate decoding of micro-expressions, fatigue lines, the unfiltered eye. Filters flatten micro-variability. They reduce the range of signals we use to care for one another. Imagine a workplace where every profile photo is airbrushed to perfection. You would have fewer clues to pick up on strain, burnout, grief. Caring becomes more difficult when the surface is perfected into a lie of continuity. This is more than aesthetics, it's a civic problem. 6. The feminist argument: agency, coercion, and pleasure. Let me not be misunderstood. Bodily pleasures and the desire to look attractive can be emancipatory. Feminism has long argued that agency, choosing how to present oneself, is a political act. But agency exists on a continuum. When your choices are made within a narrow market of acceptable forms, are you truly choosing, or are you being coerced by the architecture of desirability? This is the heart of Naomi Wolf's argument in The Beauty Myth. The system sells self-optimization as freedom while ensuring that the optimization benefits a set of commercial and social interests. Feminist thinkers from de Beauvoir to bell hooks have wrestled with this problem: how to claim pleasure without surrendering oneself to the market's addictive logic. So, what is the feminist position on the red bunny? We laugh, yes, but we must ask whether that laugh masks a more corrosive assent. The bunny's wink says, "Go on, play with us, and while you play, you're being measured." 7. Practical anthropology: what we teach our children and how. If you teach, parent, or mentor, there are small, stubbornly practical things you can do. Anthropology is not only interpretive, it is pedagogical. Frame belonging as earned through care rather than appearance. Praise curiosity, generosity, reliability, humour, qualities that increase your daughter's social capital in durable ways. Teach media literacy as survival skill. Deconstruct an advert in a practicum. Who benefits from this image? Whose labour went into it? What historical silhouette is it updating? Practice unfiltered rituals. At home, put an unfiltered day on the calendar. Ask each other to share a photo and a story of an unedited moment, a faded dress, a scar, a real laugh. Make these images worthy of celebration. Democratize beauty in your children's environment. Make art of all body types visible in the house. Read Morrison with them, but also place images of mothers, men, elders, and neighbours in joyful candidness. Model public vulnerability. When you post, be transparent. Show the mess behind the curated image. Your willingness to be unvarnished is a pedagogy. These actions are small but ripple rich. They teach what algorithms do not, that identity is a multidimensional skill, not an image. 8. The political economy of look, platforms, payments, and policy. We must also confront the structural levers. If algorithms subsidize and reward a narrow aesthetic, regulation matters. Transparency about training data provenance, independent audits of errors and bias, and consumer-facing labels indicating when an image has been heavily altered are not theoretical luxuries. They are governance mechanisms. From the platform side, designers must adopt a principle I call design with dignity, features that default to authenticity, opt-outs for beautification, and verification flows that require human review when automated systems flag non-conforming faces. These are practical, implementable changes. We must also push for public literacy. Schools should include a mandate to teach children that image manipulation is common practice and to provide tools to discern and cope. The red bunny must not be the only teacher. 9. The Poetics of Lightness, Calvino and the Ethics of Being Unburdened. Let me return to the poetic anchor that first made me forgive the bunny. Italo Calvino, in his Meditations on Lightness, argued that lightness is not fragility, but a form of intelligence, the ability to lift burden through imaginative technique. Calvino asks us to remove weight by seeing anew. There is a political virtue in that. If our cultural machinery weights bodies with impossible demands, then lightness is the project of extracting that load. But this is not a metaphysical exercise. It is practical, to make space where people may move without accounting for their silhouettes at every moment. To be light is to be free enough to think with others, to be companionate, to work across difference without the endless accounting of conformity. Calvino's lightness, then, is the opposite of the red bunny's pressure. It is the pedagogy we need. 10. Comedy and conscience, the bunny's joke. We must never lose our appetite for laughter. The red bunny is useful because its silliness lets us talk seriously without despair. Its porn connotation wink, that slightly kitsch nod to a sexual economy shaped by branding, exposes how eroticization and commercial play are interleaved in public life. We must be able to laugh at the absurdity and then interrogate it. Here is a rule I give my mentees: laugh first, then ask the hard question. The joke opens a door, the analysis walks through it. So next time you see a bunny telling you not to put your feet on the seat, smile, then ask, who made this rule? Who benefits? Who pays the cost? 11. The Seat of Confidence, a practical civic experiment. I promised you a prescriptive end, so here is a practicum, easy, civic, and designed for ripple effects. I call it Choose the Seat of Confidence. It has 3 levels: personal, institutional, and civic. Personal, daily practice. Start a 7-day unedited challenge, 1 photo a day, no filters, a short caption about what's true today. Share anonymously with a friend if that helps. Keep a compassion log. Once a day, write 1 thing you admired about someone's non-physical quality. Model in public. If you see airbrushed adverts in a school, ask the head if they can present a media literacy session. Simple social pressure works. Institutional schools work. Propose a policy that bans mandatory edited corporate headshots on internal platforms. Offer workshops, reading bodies in the digital age, practical skills for students, employees to decode image economies. Create a real faces gallery in communal spaces. Civic policy and platform. Demand transparency, label manipulated images. Support research funding for audits of image tech bias. Lobby for human-in-the-loop verifications for identity checks. 12. Final field note: love, story, and the long game. Culture changes slowly by design and quickly by crisis. The long game here is education. We will not undo centuries of body labour overnight, but we can see different habits in our children's imaginations. We can generate public rituals where unedited is beautiful. We can insist that platforms honour the dignity of variance. I close with a small, stubborn assertion. Belonging should not require uniformity. A body is not a billboard unless we make it one. The red bunny will still hop on the screen tomorrow. Laugh, then write a different slogan above it. I suggest these words: seats are for confidence. You are already allowed to sit. If you want more, I have created a toolkit: lesson plans, parent scripts, school modules, and a short policy brief to take this local argument into your schools and workplaces. You can download it at Change Academy. I also run workshops for educators and trustees who want to build real faces galleries and run unedited challenges at scale. Credits and reading suggestions, mini bibliography for curious minds. If you want to read deeper, Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye, on internalized beauty and racialized desire. Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale, on bodily politics and systemic control. Susan Bordeaux, Unbearable Weight, cultural studies on body, gender and discipline. Naomi Wolf, The Beauty Myth, The Politics of Appearance. Margaret Mead, Sex and Temperament in Three Primitive Societies, Culture, Gender and Variability. Italo Calvino, 6 Memos for the Next Millennium, for the essay on lightness. An invitation. If the red bunny has wandered into your mind tonight, do something small. For 7 days, post an unedited photo or share an unfiltered truth with someone you trust. Tag me if you want. I read everything. We will make a gallery together. We will reclaim the seat. Thank you for listening. If this spoke to you, like, subscribe and share it with one person who needs a different mirror. And if you want a workshop for your school or workplace, let's talk. The work is urgent and it is beautiful. Choose your seat, sit down, breathe and stay a while. The world needs people who will not be reduced to silhouettes. Dr. Elena Carruba,